Hey dancers, welcome back. It's been a while, but I am really excited to have another video for you, and we are starting a series on Turnout. This is one of the most requested topics, and there is a lot of different advice and even misinformation out there, so I'm excited to be covering it, looking at some of the different components like our active range of motion, some static flexibility, and of course some strengthening. In this video, we're going to be looking specifically at some dynamic hip mobility. Dynamic just means that we are moving the joint, and mobility is a bit of a buzzword that typically includes dynamic and active components. These are really nice and versatile because on top of helping us develop our range of motion, they are also great as part of a warm-up, either before your dance class or before some of our more intense strength exercises and some of those deeper stretches that we'll be looking at in future videos. The first step of our warm-up is going to be to try and get our heart rate up, get the blood pumping, maybe break into a light sweat. So I'm going to leave that up to you. You can do some jumping jacks, have a dance party, some jogging on the spot, whatever works for you. Then when you're ready, we are going to start with our hip cars. Now these can be done from a standing position, from a kneeling position like this, or from a 4-point kneeling position, so actually on our hands and knees. And I recommend doing this on your mat just so you have a bit more protection and padding on your knees, otherwise it can get uncomfortable. I'm going to demonstrate it from standing. So you're going to have one hand on the wall just to help with your balance. Make sure you have enough space around you. So the first thing that we're going to do is flex our hip, so lifting that leg into your chest as high as you can. Once you're in this position, we are going to carry it out to the side and keep going. So you have to at some point let that femur rotate in the socket, come all the way around, and we go again. So lifting the thigh, letting it rotate as you take it out to the side, all the way back and down. And we can reverse that as well. Take it back. When you can't extend that hip any further without releasing the pelvis or arching the back, that's when you know it's time to start rotating it. Bring it all the way around to the front and back down. So you can do about 3 to 5 of those in each direction, and we're moving slowly, we're moving with control and really trying to isolate that movement from the hip. I'll show you that from the kneeling position as well. So first we bring the knee into our chest, we take the leg out to the side, carry it all the way down and back. We repeat knee to chest, to the side, let it rotate, bring it all the way back down. So like I said, we're really trying to isolate that movement from the hip. So I don't want to be sinking into my supporting side. I don't want to have too much movement in my back or my pelvis. I want to try and keep the rest of my body as still as possible and let most of the work and movement be through the hip joint. So that's a great one to get us started. Another one that I really like is the hip airplane. Now we might have done this in a video before, but it is very simple. We are going to start on one leg, tilting our torso forward, slight bend to that knee. From here, we are going to open up our hips to the side, so we are rotating our whole pelvis on top of that supporting leg, so it's not just like an arabesque where I'm turning out my back leg. It's the whole pelvis rotating, opening up this way, and I keep rotating it all the way around, trying to get a little bit of internal rotation here at the bottom, and repeat. So again, you can do, I'm eating my hair, that's not pleasant. You can do about 3 to 6 of these per side, or just as many as you feel you need to get those hips warmed up. Then for this next one, I do have my mat here. This is more so for the inner thighs, but I still find it a nice warm-up if we're looking at some rotation work. From here, I'm going to take one leg out to the side, and here you can have it in this position so your foot is flat on the mat, or you can have it externally rotated, so knees and toes pointing to the ceiling. All that we're going to do from here is sit our hips back, so we're hinging at the hips and lift. We hinge back and lift. You can experiment with it both ways. Do a few and see what feels best, or just a few reps of each. I'll show you this from the side. So I take my leg out to the side in its neutral or externally rotated position. From there, I hinge back, and if you need to hold on to something for balance, you are welcome to do that. So this is a nice active stretch to help us get started. Great for all those movements we have to do in ballet, or if we're going to be stretching our splits or turnout. This is a nice way for us to get started. From this position, we can also do our kneeling lunges. So I can take one leg to the side, lunge forward and back, or I can even take this leg out to the side and lunge to the side, and again get a bit more of that inner thigh movement, also some of that knee over toe ankle mobility. So this is also a nice one to include. That is it for our mobility section. Next we'll look at how we can strengthen those all important turnout muscles.